Hi, my friends. So, last time I left you, the last video, I was in the pharmacy and having my now third really strong heart attack since arriving in Spain 4 days ago. So my wife kind of knew that I had a heart attack. I knew it from what happened in Valencia and what happened earlier the same day in Madrid. So when we got to the Airbnb, then I just wanted to lay down. One of the things that she did, here's tip number one. I'll give you the other tips later on in this video. Tip number one that saved my life is she gave me an aspirin. She said, I heard you're supposed to take an aspirin. Take an aspirin. I thought that's not going to do me any good. All right, so I took the aspirin. So I'm going to fast forward a little bit now from the aspirin. We're in the pharmacy. I have this major heart attack. I was blacking out. I was fighting it with everything I had not to pass out. I didn't want to close my eyes. I was afraid I wouldn't open them again. So I kept breathing. I kept trying to keep myself awake. They called the ambulance. The ambulance arrived literally within 2 or 3 minutes. It was amazing how fast. And in Spain, I don't know if they do that here in the States, I don't know, but in Spain, when you have an emergency and they call an ambulance, they ask the person that's calling if they know what kind of an emergency. Was I hit by a bus? Did I get bit by a dog? Am I having a heart attack? They ask. The young lady at the pharmacy told him, it looks like he's having a heart attack. So when the ambulance showed up, there was 2 cardiac doctors on this ambulance. It was incredible. And 2 nurses, cardiac nurses, specialized in cardiology. Not just regular EMTs, which God bless our EMTs, but everybody who was on this ambulance were specialized in cardiac events. So they came in and they started working on me right away. I don't even remember all the things that they did to me. They drew blood, they did EKG, they did an ultrasound, they gave me nitro under my tongue, they gave me a shot of something else. They did a bunch of things that stabilized me. And they said, we need to take you to the hospital. So they loaded me up, put me in the ambulance, and headed towards the hospital. It was the university hospital. That was the nearest one to where I was. Huge, beautiful hospital. On the ride there, they kept asking me a bunch of questions of how I've been feeling over the last couple of days, over the last couple of weeks, over the last month, and I was telling them everything that happened. Tip number 2 of why I'm still alive and what helped save my life. Because I asked the cardiac doctor that was in the ambulance when they were doing all this, I said, why did I have this heart attack? I work out 3 or 4 times a week. I walk every day. I eat fairly healthy, or anyway, I thought I did. And he said, one is you took that aspirin right away. That's a lifesaver. And 2, the reason that I'm alive is because I am in shape, because I work out, because I eat healthy, because I walk every day. That was tip 2. So even though I was like down on myself in that moment of, I work out, I eat healthy, why this happened to me? It was more like, thank God I work out and I eat healthy, because when this happened to me, that saved my life. So now we arrive at the hospital. These 2 doctors and 2 nurses were amazing. Super knowledgeable, super friendly. They did everything. They wheeled me out of the ambulance, and it looked like an army of doctors and nurses waiting by the door. As they wheel me into this room, and they start taking my clothes off and putting a gown on me, and they're asking me questions. And the head cardiologist there said, all right, we're going to take you up to a room. It's Saturday. We're going to keep you and monitor you for the next day or two. And we're going to see what happens. I thought, okay. The ambulance cardiologists and the nurses wished me well, said goodbye, gave me a hug, super friendly. I'm almost going to cry. And they left. And they wheeled me up to this room. Beautiful room. Only one in the room. There isn't two beds, just one bed. In the cardiac ICU unit. About 10 minutes later, the head cardiac doctor from the hospital walks in again to check on me. And while he's talking to me and explaining to me, what they're going to be doing over the next couple of days and to monitor me, I have another heart attack. And I'm all hooked up to the EKG, and I tell him, I said, I'm feeling chest pain again. My neck is starting to hurt. My arm is hurting. It's hard for me to breathe. And he started looking. He says, you're having another heart attack. They gave me a shot of something in this. They were giving me intravenously. And that kind of helped calm the symptoms fairly quickly. And he said, we can't wait over the weekend. We have to take you down to the ER right now. And within the next 15 or 20 minutes, they wheeled me down to the operating room where there was another team of cardiologists waiting for me in the cath lab. And they ended up putting a stent in my heart. The heart attack was at the lower lateral, I don't know the names. It's the artery that runs this way. It was 80% clogged. So they went in and cleaned it out. They put a stent in. And I have another artery that was between 40 and 50% clogged. And they went in with a balloon. And I don't know what they did, but they said they cleaned it out or opened it up. And then they wheeled me back to the room. Through all this, there was always a nurse or a cardiologist by my side. From the moment the ambulance showed up until they wheeled me back to my room afterwards, I was never left alone with a monitor in my room. It was an amazing. If this had to happen to anybody, and it happened to me, I'm glad it happened in Madrid. The level of care and expertise, I don't think could be surpassed anywhere. It was an amazing experience. So I ended up staying in the hospital 3 days. They let me out. They let me out on Monday. During those 3 days, the cardiologist came to see me frequently. And as I was speaking to the head cardiologist right before they discharged me, I asked him again, why, since I work out, because I hadn't gotten an answer of why. I just got the answer of thanks to the aspirin, thanks to me working out and eating healthy, I was still alive. The cardiologist told me, he said, well, you had what's called a widowmaker heart attack. Only 10%, 12% of people survive a widowmaker heart attack. He said, you're very fortunate to be here having this conversation with me. He said, the 3 reasons you're still alive are you took that aspirin. Reason 1, you're in great shape. You work out, you walk, you eat healthy, you're doing all those things right. That was reason 2. And reason 3, I don't smoke. 3, not being a smoker, eating healthy, working out, taking that aspirin as soon as I felt that last heart attack my wife gave to me. She saved my life on that one. Those are the 3 reasons that I'm still here. The reason that I had the Widowmaker in the first place, said it was hereditary, it was genetics. It said my arteries are really tiny. My mom has stents. She has really small veins and arteries, and they've gotten clogged up, and she has several stents. And that's why I had mine. So you can't outrun genetics. You can't outrun what's hereditary. But you can do a lot to prevent or maximize your chances of survival. So my friends, walk, work out, eat healthy, don't smoke, don't be overweight. If you feel something coming on, take an aspirin right away, get help right away. Don't ignore the little symptoms. Don't ignore those little chest pains, those little back and neck pains. Those were the precursors. If I would have gone into my cardiologist right away, I would have avoided this massive heart attack, and they probably would have stented me in Florida before I left, and it wouldn't have been so close for me. So don't be part of that 90% that don't make it. Keep yourself alive. Heed the warnings. Love you, my friends. Talk to you later.